What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about when Resident Evil 9 will release. So, we talked a little bit about the ending of 8, we talked about DLC ideas, and we've talked about a little bit of 9 as a whole, but we haven't talked about when we would get it. Now, I have covered this on the second channel. I do have a second channel if you guys want to check it out. Links in the description, but Capcom had a massive breach, okay, around, I'd say, mid last year, okay. Now, if you guys, if you're just Resident Evil fans and you've never seen this, well, lucky for you, I'm going to be kind of breaking down what was leaked. I'll be recapping it in case you guys didn't see, but we pretty much have a roadmap, a little confusing stuff here and there, but we have a pretty solid roadmap of what to expect, not even just Resident Evil, but just Capcom games in general going through the next, 4 or 5 years, which is really cool. I prefer we don't get that through a data breach that puts employees in danger and all this stuff. Like, it was a really bad thing for Capcom, but at the end of the day, we got game announcements pretty much, which is a good thing, I guess, for us in a pretty sad way. So I'm gonna go over what we know, and I'll talk about when Resident Evil 9 will release. If you guys are new here, if you haven't already, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We could be at 50K right now, we could not be, but if we're not, please help us get there. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, hit the like button. Definitely goes a long way. Okay, so for those of you that have seen this, I'm sorry, quick recap for you. Resident Evil Outrage, Q4 2021. We're only going to read the Resident Evil stuff. Resident Evil 4 Remake, Q4 2022. Biohazard Apocalypse, Q3 2023. And then Resident Evil Hank, Q4 2024. Now, what do those mean? Well, firstly, we should make sure we know that, remember, Capcom has made it pretty darn clear they want a new Resident Evil game every single year. That's their plan, okay? They have a lot to work with. They have Code Veronica. They have Revelations. They have mainline installments. They have more spin-offs they could do. They have a lot of stuff. They have remakes, which they used really early on to kind of give us that start to every year, right? So we had 7 in 2017. We had 2's remake in 2019, 3's remake in 2020, and then this game in 2021. So in the last 5 years, we've had 4 Resident Evil games, almost 1 per year, but ever since 2's remake started and came out, we've had 1 a year. All right. Resident Evil Outrage. Now, it says Q4 2021. Another thing to keep in mind is Resident Evil 4's remake, from what we know through leaks, and you can believe them or not, was delayed. It was actually pushed an entire year. So instead of coming late 2022, it's now coming in 2023, and there were a lot of issues with it. A lot of miscommunication, a lot of one studio thinking that they had the ability to do stuff, and in reality, they weren't. They were really kind of I would say, oppressed in a way, okay? You can go look that up if you want more information on it, but from what we know, that game has been pushed. So I don't know for sure if we're going to get actually a Resident Evil game every single year. That was the plan, but because of the stuff around the world, because of internal issues of Capcom, that could have been changed. But Resident Evil Outrage from Dust Golem, so this is a guy obviously who's leaked and talked quite a bit about Resident Evil. I personally believe him. He's definitely more right than he is wrong. He says that that's pretty much like Revelations 3. It's a Code Veronica level game. And why he says it like that is because, number one, it is a lot. It is, at least it started as Revelations 3. It may be Revelations 3, it may be called something else, but it may be a Switch exclusive, much like Monster Hunter Rise, and it would be kind of built around, it would be that kind of level of like an engine and how it runs. It would run better than Revelations 1 and 2, but at least in the beginning, it would be a timed exclusive for Nintendo that would release at the end of this year. Now, again, there's a lot of stuff there, but this isn't part of that Outrage franchise, which actually some people want that, which is okay, but it's not that, okay? It seems like it's a code name for Revelations, at least according to him. Now, does it come out at the end of this year? It could be pushed because of the stuff around the world. It's pushed a lot of things, so I'm not sold on this game coming out the same year as Resident Evil 8. It's also possible, I mean, if you want to not believe him, you could consider it maybe DLC for 8. That's just literally just a random thought. Resident Evil 4 Remake, very easy enough. There's really no there's no code names for that. And so in their thing, in their systems, that's what they called it. So they called that game Resident Evil Outrage. They called Resident Evil 4's Remake Resident Evil 4 remake. So very simple and straight to the point. I don't know if you need a remake for a game like that, to be quite honest with you guys, but at the same time, whatever. All right, now the actual topic of this video: when will Resident Evil 9 release? Well, Biohazard Apocalypse, in my opinion, has got to be Resident Evil 9. Biohazard obviously has actually a lot of connections to the series, both in like the Japanese name and a lot of other things. And the most recently, it was literally called Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. So Resident Evil 7 was called Biohazard, and I think it was only called Biohazard in some parts of the world. So that is the code name for it, pretty much. And Apocalypse, to me, Apocalypse, end of times, right? Seems like big stakes. Seems to me like that's what you would title a code name for 9. Just, I guess, my opinion. This isn't like a factual thing, but if we go by that, Biohazard Apocalypse, Q3 2023. I think that's got to be it. And also, let me say this. The other reason I think that's it is because, again, you go through this list, the only other Resident Evil game afterwards, so, like, it's not for a remake. It's not Outrage, right? So it's either Biohazard Apocalypse or Resident Evil Hank, which I really don't think, I think that's a spin-off game, to be honest with you. I really don't think that is Resident Evil 9. And if it was, again, like, Resident Evil Hank versus Biohazard Apocalypse. Firstly, which one of those sounds more hidden? Like they're trying to hide what the title is. Obviously, Biohazard Apocalypse. Which one has more of like a deep connection to Resident Evil? Biohazard Apocalypse. Which one sounds like the most stakes or like a big time title for the last game potentially in your numbered franchise? Because remember, the rumor is 9 is it, and then they're going to do spin-offs and anthology series and stuff like that afterwards. So which one sounds like 9? Biohazard Apocalypse. You know what I mean? So you can make the argument for the other ones, but I'm honestly just doing this to kind of cover my back in case people say, well, it wasn't confirmed that that's 9. Well, okay, tell me where 9 is then on this list if it's not that one, okay? So I'm going to say Biohazard Apocalypse is Resident Evil 9, Q3 2023. So that's honestly, that's around the summertime. That's like June through September is Q3. I don't think that'll happen. I don't really see them releasing a game in the summer, to be quite honest with you guys. And also again, like, things can get delayed. Now, it's been 4 years since 7. So it went 7, 8. Now, obviously, there were games in between, but I don't know. This is one thing I don't know, okay? I don't know how, there's obviously a lot of studios there and a lot of different studios that are working on different things. That's part of the reason 4's remake was delayed, is because it actually swapped studios. So now a different studio is kind of picking up from the last one, and that's going to push it back. So that's part of the rumor why that game was delayed, which, again, I do kind of believe that. So I don't know who's making, like, is the team that made 7, did they go right into 8? So if they've been making 8 basically for 4 years, and maybe if you guys know that answer, definitely let me know. But then can they turn around and do 9 in less than 2.5 years? That seems very short. It doesn't seem like that's something that they can actually do. But again, with 4's remake delayed, maybe Outrage is delayed. You know what I mean? Like, if they're all pushed, say, a year, then you say, okay, well, can they do 9 in 3 years? Yeah, I think that's a lot more likely. I don't think it's, again, I mean, if they want to take 4 years, they take as long as you want. You know what I mean? Good products will outweigh how long it takes, in my opinion. But to me, I would say late 2023, if not 2024. So I think we got around a 3-year wait in us for the next game. Not a big deal, to be quite honest with you guys. Something that a lot of people would expect. I mean, game development takes 3 to 4 years probably on average. So if you wanted it less than that, I mean, according to their own internal files, they do want it out in like 2 years. I don't know if that'll happen, but they want to get it out sooner rather than later. But again, I mean, I don't want like a 4-hour game. I don't want a game that's not so like you either get one or the other. Either it's such a short game because they're just trying to get like the best product out there, which is actually, that second part's good, or they try to make it big. They try to make it even as long, say, as Village, which isn't the longest game in the world, but say they want to do an 8 to 10 hour game, but like it only has the quality of like a 3 to 4 hour game. So like half of it really sucks. You know what I mean? I don't want that. So we'll have to see how it happens, but I would expect somewhere in the next 3 or so years to get 9. So let me know, guys, in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think Biohazard Apocalypse is 9. Maybe it is Resident Evil Hank, because that is 3 years away. Let me know which one you think is 9 and when do you think 9 comes out. Again, if you haven't already, make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys have the bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. Give this video a like. Thank you all so much for all the support you've given me in all these Resident Evil videos. I believe I have one more daily Resident Evil video coming out tomorrow, and then we'll see where we go from there, okay? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all there.